Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So mandatory minicamp starts up today for a bunch of teams out there. The Steelers, Patriots, Lions, Giants, the list goes on. I think it's 12 total teams that start today. The Jets, on the other hand, don't start until June 14th. The mandatory minicamp for the Jets runs from June 14th to the 16th. Okay, so a nice little 3-day period. But we did get some positive news that Mekhi Becton is expected to attend the mandatory part of minicamp. Obviously, he skipped the voluntary OTAs because of the birth of his child, completely understandable, but now we're transitioning to, the mandatory piece here. And there's really two big questions that are looming. Number one, how does Mekhi Becton look health-wise? Obviously, he's been away from the team for quite some time. He only played in one game last season in which he got hurt week 1 against the Carolina Panthers. There was not much clarity, surrounding his injury last year. Just didn't really seem like anybody had an answer, including Robert Saleh himself. When he was asked about it in press conferences, it just seemed like nobody had a clue what was going on, what was happening. He's been working out with his individual coach, I believe in Texas, but that's really the first hurdle here. Does Mekhi Becton look healthy? Right? Is he ready to play? Will he be a full participant in the mandatory minicamp phase here? Okay, because it's really, really important. The Jets, Joe Douglas, obviously didn't bring in that marquee free agent, that Terran Armstead. We let a lot of tackles slip by, okay, including Morgan Moses, who the Jets let walk. He ended up signing a multi-year deal with the Baltimore Ravens. I was impressed with what Moses put together last season for the Jets offensive line, but he's no longer with the team. Okay, then we fast forward to the draft. Joe Douglas again passes on Evan Neal, Ike Mekwonu, Charles Cross with that 4th overall pick. Doesn't take one, with our 2 other first-round picks, our second-round picks. It wasn't until later in the draft where Joe Douglas selected Max Mitchell from Louisiana, a guy who I'm actually excited about. He's played on both sides of the offensive line, really effective in pass pro. I'm excited for Max Mitchell. Maybe not year 1, but possibly year 2, year 3, year 4. I like his ceiling. I like the upside with Mitchell there. So excited to see what the future holds there. But going back to Becton here, that's the first big question. Is he healthy? Is he ready to go? Number 2, right? If we get past that, if he checks that box, which position will he be playing? Left tackle or right tackle? From everything that we've seen and heard this offseason, it seems like there's going to be a pretty big competition at the left tackle spot between Mekhi Becton and George Fant. Okay, and rightfully so. I don't want this Jets coaching staff to just hand out a position. Both guys, you can make a great case for both guys. In Becton's case, you could point to the rookie season. You could point to the upside. You could point to where he was drafted. Just the how dominant of a player he was so early in his career, throwing defensive ends around like it was absolutely nothing. Okay, gets you fired up. Peers around the league, other coaches, media guys, everybody was obsessed with Mekhi Becton's tape. Just what he was able to do. Just a Highway 77, Mount Becton, just the multiple nicknames, just in the running game, he was flat out dominant. But in the case of George Fant, he's coming off a fantastic season at the left tackle spot. Okay, he only allowed 1 sack, 18 total pressures, 3 quarterback hits, just a handful of penalties as well in the entire 2021 season. It's not like he only played 3 or 4 games. No, he played in 15. Mekhi Becton had a lot of responsibility on his plate last season. And as we all know, goes down week 1. George Fant steps into that left tackle spot and does not disappoint. And granted, Fant wasn't the number 1 overall pick. He wasn't the big money free agent that was brought in by the team, and he's getting paid millions and millions of dollars. He's not the big name out there, but when we look at the production, when we look at the numbers, George Fant can play. He stepped up and did an admirable job. Okay, so, and by the way, Morgan Moses obviously was over at right tackle last season. You look at Fant, you look at Becton, you can make the case for both, but I think the Jets are taking the right approach here, not just handing out a position to anybody. It's like, hey, the best guy's going to win. Now, the right tackle spot is a little concerning for me. I get the philosophy of the loser moves over to the right spot, but I don't want to devalue the right tackle position at all. But the one thing that I do want to, point out here, I think whatever happens, whether it's Fant at left tackle, whether it's Becton, I think overall the offensive line will be better. Okay, guys like Connor McGovern, and AVT, it's the second year of those guys playing together on the inside. Vera Tucker's moving over to right guard. Why? Because the Jets brought in one of the best guards in football in Laken Tomlinson, okay? A guy who knows the system like the back of his hand. He fits exactly what the team wants to do. Tons of production with the San Francisco 49ers, been in a great locker room, won a bunch of games, had success in the playoffs. I mean, that was an absolute slam dunk of a signing. Okay, so I think the upgrade with Laken Tomlinson on the inside at left guard is definitely going to help out, especially in the running game, whoever's playing left tackle. And then, obviously AVT's coming off a great season at left guard. We're all hoping that he could kind of duplicate that or even grow, build off of that performance, a year ago, but this time at right guard. So overall, I do think the offensive line, and I know it might be kind of like optimistic, might sound kind of homery, but I do believe that this offensive line is not only just trending in the right direction, but should take a big leap next season. Okay, that's my goal here, whether it's Becton at left tackle, whether it's Fant. If I had to say, I think I would probably go with George Fant at left tackle because we've seen the production. Okay, it seems like he's getting better as well. Contract year, it's a big season for Fant, and you just look at what he did last season on the fly, 15 total games. It's not even like he had like one horrendous game where he was giving up like 3 sacks and was just constantly getting beat all day. No, for the majority of George Fant's playing time last season, he was durable, he was reliable, and he was consistent. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Who do you want to see at left tackle, or are you okay with either? Right, or just best man wins, and that's kind of the approach that I'm taking as well. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it, and as always, go Jets.